These have to be some of the nicest looking filters you ever get. What's up guys, Peter Does Photography here. Today's video is just going to touch upon ND filters. Should you spend more on a premium filter, or can you get away with spending a bit less on maybe a non-premium filter for a brand you maybe haven't heard of before? So today we're going to find that out. I have two different brands of ND filter. We have one from POLARPRO, which most of you have probably heard of by now, and another one by a company you maybe haven't heard of, which is URTH. The big difference between these two filters are price. POLARPRO one cost me in the UK about £120, whereas the URTH filter is about £70. So there is a probably 50 quid difference there. Can you notice that difference? That's obviously what we're here today to find out. So the big differences between these two filters are essentially aesthetic. So you can see the URTH one is all black, whereas the POLARPRO one instead has this very nice kind of copper kind of ring around it. In the URTH filter we have your German shot glass, whereas the POLARPRO lens, it's just essentially says it's Cinema Series German kind of grey glass. I can imagine it's pretty similar. All of my filters are for this 77mm lenses. I use Canon's L glass, and they're all a 77mm. And oh, this won't go in.
That's what she said.
The big question is it worth spending another £50, or I think it's about $70 on the POLARPRO, whereas you can go and spend less on the URTH product? In my opinion, you're better going for the URTH one. Mainly, the URTH filter is slightly better quality material wise than the kind of Quartz line by POLARPRO. I just feel like when I'm turning this, it just feels a lot more kind of premium. Like, I understand that these are made of premium materials as well. It just, something just doesn't feel as kind of proper as the URTH one does, and that's a big thing considering there is about a £50 difference. Now there are other brands like KNF Concept etc that do filters which I actually really like in terms of the kind of way they're doing it. They have a magnetic filter system, so all you need to do is essentially have the magnetic thing on there and it just sticks to it. It's amazing. However, I don't know how reliable that would be. I mean, I've already killed one camera before. I don't fancy losing filters as well. One good thing about URTH is that when you buy an URTH product, they plant trees for every product you buy. So again, with the whole Saving the Earth thing, you'll be contributing to that by planting trees in remote areas of the earth. If you visit their website, you'll be able to see kind of the things that they've done already. So that's one good thing I like about buying URTH products, and it's why I continue to buy URTH products, is because it helps the environment. One thing I do prefer about POLARPRO is the kind of copper ring that it has, and that just looks so much better in terms of kind of on the end of the glass there. It's just, having that copper ring just looks expensive. You can spend a lot more money on the POLARPRO stuff as well. You have the Peter McKinnon Variable NDs as well, which I think start at about $230, which is absolutely nuts. I've just noticed I've been syncing this entire video. There we are. So yeah, the POLARPROs get really expensive. This is essentially the start of the POLARPRO line, about $120 plus delivery to the UK. It was just about £120. I don't regret buying them. The look that it has at the end of your lens, it's just something else. I wish URTH had the same kind of thing. It is just a black ND filter, and as you can see there, it has the markings on it as well. I do wish there was a bit of colour to it. I don't notice any colour casting with either of these filters. I only noticed the slightest bit of vignetting with both of the filters on my 17-35 wide angle lens. If you chuck it on a crop sensor camera, you don't notice the vignetting at all. It's only when you put it on like a full frame. It's only when you put it on like a full frame camera like the 1DX where you start to see that vignetting. It's not terrible. All I do to combat that is I don't kind of bring it all the way. You can see that it has the kind of maximum lines there, and all I do is I don't bring it all the way to the maximum. I just leave it a little bit before and it fixes the vignetting. And again, that is on both of the filters, so it's not like one vignettes and the other one doesn't. Every other lens I've got, my 70-200, that's perfectly fine obviously, and my 24-105, that doesn't vignette either. It is only my 17-35. In terms of the cases the filters come in, I do prefer PolarPro's cases. It is this kind of nice metally, kind of brushed feel, and I feel like the URTH ones are just a tin essentially, screw off tin, and you can see the filter sitting inside there. I do prefer PolarPro's packaging. It is a bit more kind of hard wearing. I feel like if I put some weight on this or I drop something on it, it would kind of crack the filter inside it, whereas at least the PolarPro one is a proper hard case. It goes without saying, it doesn't matter what kit you use as long as you get the photograph that you wanted. That's all that matters. You could be using a crop sensor and a kit lens and you can take the photo that you really imagined, or you could be using the biggest pro gear that you can find and you might not get that same shot. It all depends on the gear that you have, and that's what's important, is the gear you have on the day of the shoot. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. My Instagram will be linked below as well, and both of these filters will be linked below as well, so you can check out the different websites and see what really suits your needs. If you fancy the PolarPro one, again, it is more expensive. I don't notice the difference. I'll probably just keep buying URTH products. They've brought a lot more stuff out as well in terms of accessories, which I'll probably end up buying. I can't help myself. For me, the URTH is the winner, simply because of the price to quality ratio. There's not a 50 quid difference in quality here. It just isn't there. Feel free to correct me with your own findings. Personally, I haven't had any issues with either of the filters, and again, it just comes down to what you want and what price you want to pay. So again, thank you very much for watching. Peace out.